guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called Top 10 Actors You Totally Forgot Were Scottish. This is from a channel called Watch Mojo UK. I did not know, I think there's like maybe a lot of Scottish actors, they're going undercover. It's because we probably rarely ever hear their accent. But let's check it out and comment, like and subscribe.
Send in the Scots. Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we're counting down the top 10 actors you totally forgot were Scottish.
Not me. Never.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're only looking at actors who were born in Scotland, but for various reasons their Scottish background is often forgotten. Performers such as Isla Fisher, who was born elsewhere but to Scottish parents, aren't included today. Number 10. Iain Glen. First up, an actor who's probably best known for two drastically different roles. Iain Glen is both Ser Jorah Mormont in Game of Thrones and Sir Richard Carlisle in Downton Abbey.
Lady Grant, my responsibility is to my investors. I need to keep my readership up. I leave the public spirits to government propaganda.
And while those two polar opposite characters should really be subject to some kind of ultra kooky crossover show by now, they're both part of the reason you might not know that Glen is Scottish.
I've forfeited the right to claim this song. It's yours.
Yeah, because again, if you don't listen to their accent or he's not like playing a Scottish person, like what would I know? How could I know?
He lived there for most of his life until he moved to London after university to study acting. And so started the supposed downfall of his Scottish accent, which is pretty much non-existent now in his major telly parts.
Oh, but he's speaking another language. Okay.
Number 9.
I'm sorry, but yes, of course, like you're going to lose your, well, you're not going to lose your accent. It's because I'm working, but I want to know how he sounds in real life. Maybe it's because he's been living probably in the UK for most of his life. Then maybe it would be a shame, but sometimes accents do go
Armando
away, sadly.
Iannucci. Though usually known for his writing and directing credits, Iannucci has also done some small bits of comedy and acting.
Derby County.
He created the British comedy series The Thick of It, as well as co-creating The Day to Day and I'm Alan Partridge, and was even given his own comedy show, The Armando Iannucci Shows, on Channel 4.
What about this? We all know what this is. Fire!
Both of his parents are Italian, but Iannucci was born and raised in Glasgow, living close to Doctor Who star Peter Capaldi, who later went on to play Malcolm Tucker in The Thick of It. It is a small world.
It starts to break down round about here, where it goes...
I wonder if like it's one of those things, it happens, I think, in smaller countries in which you feel like everyone knows each other. Is it one of those cases in which, I don't know, I've never heard about Scotland being the case? Maybe it is. It's like, yeah, people know each other because it's a small country. So, you know, what are the chances of two people becoming famous and they knew each other as kids? A lot. There's like a high probability of that happening.
T.A. Don't piss it away.
Number 8. Shirley Henderson. You may not instantly recognise her name, but you've most definitely seen her face, especially if you're a Harry Potter fan.
She's a ghost?
But if the sad, whiny, moaning Myrtle doesn't register on your radar, Henderson was also Jude in the Bridget Jones films, and she has appeared in cult favourites like 24 Hour Party People and A Cock and Bull Story.
What's her name?
Henderson was born in Forres Moray and grew up in Kincardine, Fife, moving to London to study music and drama at 17 in 1983,
so she moved
which means she was a perhaps surprising 37 years old when she portrayed 14-year-old Myrtle in The Chamber of Secrets.
She does look young. I mean, I wouldn't really, like, yeah, to tell me she's 14.
Number 7. John Barrowman. The American accent implies otherwise, but the ever-enthusiastic John Barrowman is surprisingly Scottish.
Captain Jack Harkness, 133 Squadron,
Royal Air
Force,
Scottish?
American volunteer.
Liar.
Born in Glasgow, he lived there with his family until he was 8, when they moved to the US, where Barrowman adopted his stateside accent after his schoolmates made fun of his Scottish.
I thought he looks quite American. He's kind of crazy. He's Scottish. Okay.
You're serious?
Luckily for us, he eventually made his way back to the UK, where he started his career on London's West End. Of course, he has since worked on British television and was famously cast as Captain Jack Harkness in Doctor Who and the sci-fi show's spin-off series Torchwood.
It's not my name. It's his.
But he does
Number
the
6.
American accent.
James McAvoy.
This
one largely depends on which of James McAvoy's movies you've seen and which you haven't. If, for example, you know him best for his role as Robbie Turner in Atonement, his Scottish heritage might just have passed you by.
Could you run ahead and give this to C? I feel a bit of a fool handing it over myself.
McAvoy made quite a name for himself, especially in his early career, for playing period drama Englishmen or Americans.
Well, he's a creature.
So sorry.
But he has also shown his national pride in plenty of interviews and acceptance speeches.
Yeah, I
including
knew he was
at the
Scottish.
2013 British Independent Film Awards, when he won for Filth and compared his elation to if Scotland ever won the World Cup.
Oh. But has he ever played a Scottish
No.
person? I feel like he's always playing British.
5. David Tennant. He is hidden in plain sight as the 10th Doctor himself and Marvel's malevolent Kilgrave.
Oh, I guess that makes me the winner.
Born
Again,
David John
they all put
MacDonald,
British.
Tennant was raised in Ralston, Renfrewshire,
heard
relocating
of that
from
either.
Bathgate, West Lothian. But his definitely Scottish background doesn't always shine through in the accents he employs, and he's often more likely to pass as English in his acting roles, whether he's
Yes.
delivering Shakespearean soliloquies or rattling through some time travel technobabble.
Mind you, I quite like Hope. Hope's a good emotion.
In interviews and during the backstage stuff, however, the brogue is back in full force.
You're Scottish. I know you're checking for those special offers.
Careful. That was low.
Number 4, Brian
But
Cox.
again, he hasn't lost his accent. It's like, no, I play British all the time, but my accent still remains.
No, not the cheeky mop-top professor of science, we're talking the celebrated thespian Brian Cox, the original Hannibal Lecter, and a face similar to anyone who's ever watched Super Troopers.
We keep up these low numbers, you can
I
bet
don't
your
know. I
sweet
have no idea
butts
what that is.
we're gonna get the big ugly X.
Cox's CV
But he
is
has like a very recognizable voice, by the way, but he's not playing like, I don't know what he's playing. Like, he's Scottish, but has he played
a
Scottish?
never-ending list of film, television, radio, and even video
Yeah, he's
game
super
credits,
famous.
as well as numerous awards and nominations.
I think it's just because he's like really a famous
Although he
actor
doesn't
that
seem
has
to
been
have
around
any
forever.
hint of a Scottish accent nowadays and now lives in New York City,
Oh, so he
was
doesn't-
born
he
and
lost
raised
it.
in Dundee until he moved to London to study acting later in life.
Even
Who
so,
knows what he sounds like?
I prefer to surrender to a fellow airman.
Number 3, Alan Cumming.
He's like, who knows what he sounds like? I don't know. You probably have like a weird mismatch of accents at this point.
Not
Like,
only
who
has he
knows?
worked his way through theatre, television and film, Alan Cumming has also branched out into behind-the-scenes roles, writing
Oh,
and
okay.
even singing.
He's a demon?
I'd post it on the internet, no?
Now residing in Manhattan and holding dual US-UK citizenship,
Hmm.
Cumming was born in Aberfeldy, Perthshire and was raised in Angus, where he lived near Carnoustie
Abba.
on Scotland's east coast.
There's so many places that I've never heard of.
I could take a closer look.
He rarely
Those
uses his
places-
natural accent in
Okay, I'm sorry, but like in both roles that they were highlighted, he plays like, I don't know what accent is
acting
that.
roles, but if you do catch it, you may still hear a slight Scottish inflection. He even supports the Scottish Youth Theatre, which might eventually stop
That's nice.
so many Scottish actors moving to London to study.
Oh, you know what? Great point. They all moved to London. I never thought of that. But all of these actors, they all moved to London at some point.
Number 2, Robbie Coltrane. Best known for playing lovable half-giant Hagrid in the Harry Potter
Oh,
films, Robbie
also
Coltrane is
Scottish.
Scottish through and through.
Everyone's Scottish.
10
Undercover
minutes.
Scottish.
Here's your ticket. Stick to it, Harry. That's very important. Stick to your ticket.
Born in Rutherglen, South Lanarkshire, Coltrane, born Macmillan, was educated in Perthshire, later
Oh,
Glasgow,
Macmillan.
and finally at the University of Edinburgh. In Glasgow, Coltrane was often ridiculed at school for having a
Why?
posh accent, which he toned down afterwards.
Wait, they made fun of you because you speak fancy? Like, what? Well, yeah, sometimes people do this. It's kind of crazy. Like, you're making fun of me because I have, like, a normal accent? Like, what do you want me to do? Speak poorly?
I've got 8 items.
But given that he so rarely plays Scottish characters and is instead
Oh my
better
God, he
known
looks
for
so
roles like
different.
the Russian gangster Valentin Zukovsky in the Bond films,
Oh, he plays
the
a
truth of
Russian.
Robbie's lineage often goes unnoticed.
I thought you were the one giving her the business.
Number 1, Laura Fraser. If you've ever seen Breaking Bad or its spin-off Better Call Saul, you'll know Laura Fraser as mother of meth Lydia Ruddart Quayle.
I appreciate you making every possible effort because, as you know, my buyers expect a certain threshold.
She's also famous for her performances as Dor in Neverwhere and Kate in A Knight's Tale, but
Oh my
because of
God.
her all-American
She's been
role
around
alongside
forever.
Bryan Cranston and co, her Scottishness sometimes slips by. Another A-grade actor born and raised in Glasgow, where she studied dramatic arts,
Oh, but
she
she
actually
did study
still
at
lives in
Glasgow.
Scotland, unlike a lot of today's other entries.
Oh.
It's a long way from there to Texas, where Breaking Bad's Lydia is based, but she makes the switch to sensational effect.
You want to talk methylamine? Then tell your partner to stop threatening me.
And let's
That's
talk.
crazy. And she's
Do you
Scottish.
agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo UK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.
Yeah, I think it's funny because again, a lot of these people, they obviously again they hardly ever play Scottish people, which it just dawned on me. It's like, are there characters are there any characters, that are actually Scottish? I mean, obviously they must be, but I think mostly all characters in a lot of, I think maybe it's just because obviously you don't live in Scotland, probably in Scotland. No, everyone uses their normal accent, but I think if you want to break through sort of, in the outside of Scotland, even in the UK, just say, in that island, in the UK in particular, and then of course, in American markets and in the rest of Europe, then probably you're gonna have to tone it down, which I think it's, I don't know, your job as an actor is to disappear into the role. But it's just crazy to me that a lot of these people, they're 10. And I don't think I don't think any of them were actually Scottish. They were playing a Scottish character. They were all playing either British people, Americans, Russians. They were all playing something else. But I've never played a Scottish person. So I think most of these actors, it's just, okay, so why is it that? Is it because obviously maybe they played Scottish at some point earlier on in their careers, but it's because it was I don't know, local TV maybe, and obviously things were different because you speak with your normal accent, and then of course because you're getting cast in in British productions, then yes, or English productions, I think you're gonna have to switch because your character is going to be British, it's going to be English, it's going to be or whatever, and then when they move to the US, it's of course you're gonna be an American person because again you're being cast as in that role. But it just dawned on me that isn't it a little bit weird how any of these people at least they don't have at least one famous Scottish role basically. I don't know. Is it because I don't really know much about the industry, the Scottish TV industry or film industry? But is it maybe is it because it's a little bit non-existent, it's not really that famous, it's not really that big, and that's why people they are constantly having to move, and that's why you're not going to be listening to them speak in a Scottish accent, simply because the industry is not that big, and if people want to break through, they have to move somewhere else. And there are simply no parts for Scottish people because they're productions in some other countries. So maybe that's what it is. But still, it's kind of crazy how in neither of them, again, for out of 10, no one's Scottish. No one has played a Scottish person. No, I'm Scottish and I'm playing Scottish. Kind of weird, but they did mention, because that made me think of a lot of these actors. I think I don't know, at least 6 of them. At some point in their career, they had to move, especially a lot of them moved very early on in their careers. They even moved to study. It wasn't even, I went to school in, some of them, I think they went to, Glasgow. Yes, I went to study drama there, theater, I don't know, some sort of career related to acting. And then obviously I moved because, again, the opportunities weren't that great over there. But a lot of these actors, they kind of had to move. I had to move to London specifically because basically that's why they were I don't know, they the best schools, the best theater schools are probably there. I don't know. So I wanted to house the Royal, not the Royal Theatre or something. I think they mentioned I think it was David Tennant, I think, that he was supporting the Royal, I think it was Royal, maybe I made that up. The Glasgow Theatre, I don't know, the Scottish Youth Theatre, something like that. But yeah, they probably should support that. It would be good that in the future actors don't have to move to London unless they want to, but they don't necessarily have to move there in order to jumpstart their careers or to even study, because I would, again, a lot of great actors, so it's not about the talent. Obviously the talent is there, it's just probably the industry is not really that big, so again they probably have to work on that, because it's a shame. What happens if people cannot move? Maybe you're a great actor, but then maybe you don't have the money or the means, so maybe you can't for whatever reason to go and go to London. Maybe again there should be opportunities and more opportunities for you in Scotland. But again, I think a lot of these actors, that's the funny thing, is that this, to me, like a Scottish accent is like a really different and really hard, I think, I was gonna say language, not a language, so it's a really tough accent, I think, to pull off. Obviously for them, not hard, of course, they've been doing it, that it's how they speak. But I think like it's probably easier for them to like switch it to a British normal. And I know that in England and in the UK in particular, they have like so many types of accents. It's very, a lot of, I think you can say that about so many, every single country, basically. Each region has its own accent. So it's like, in the end, it's like, I don't know, 100 accents, who knows? It's a lot of them. But ultimately, the standard sort of British accent, I think a lot of these actors it's really what they play. And it must be like easier for them. I think it's probably easier for them to do like a British accent. Probably they can do it like in the blink of an eye. They can like spur this or like whatever. Yes, of course, I can speak British to you. But if you ask like a British actor to do a Scottish accent, I think it would be quite hard, because again, I think it's just like it can lean towards like a parody, I think, really easy. It's just like, because it's like I don't know, it's just like they speak, it's really funny. I love that accent, but it's really sometimes like really thick, like a really thick Scottish accent can sometimes be, it's sort of like, I don't know, it's really hard to understand sometimes. Your ear has to like get used to like that accent, because it's not, I don't consider that to be like an easy accent to understand, unless you're sort of in the in the thick of it and you have a little bit of experience with it. And yes, I've heard it before. But if it's like the first time or like your first few times listening to this accent, or some people just have like really, so I think there must be regions in Scotland that they have accents that are really, really tough to understand. But yes, as well, I think England also has them. Like there are regions in which like it's a really, really thick accent, so it's like a really hard thing to understand. Obviously, if you're not from that side of the pond, very, very clearly. But still, I want to know like how many British actors can successfully pull off a Scottish accent, just because I would assume it's very few of them. But and if you compare them to Scottish actors that can do a perfect British accent, like yes, of course, like the Scottish actors are going to, not that it's a competition, but if it was a competition, I think the Scottish actors would win. And obviously, of course, it's so funny how a lot of these, especially I think it was, I don't know, the older guy, I can't remember his name, but he's been around forever, and he has done a bunch of films and shows, that he already lost the accent. It's like, well, yeah, of course, you have to like train yourself to speak in a particular way. I think with each character, you're going to learn something new. You're going to like change your inflection. You're going to learn how to speak a different way. And then of course you move to the US, and it's like, I don't know. I wonder if they have like an identity crisis in which how do I speak normally? I can't even remember, because between moving somewhere and also because you're constantly being surrounded by people that don't really speak, they don't speak that same accent, you're going to simply, it happens, like it's rare when it doesn't happen that you don't sort of try to mimic that, because it's just a natural thing. And especially with the years, it just comes, and you're just going to normally speak like that, and your accent's going to change. And then of course you add that you add the fact that they're going to have to switch around depending on the character. So it's like, how do I even speak normally? I have no idea. And I wonder if that's the case with him. It's like, I played so many characters, and also I don't really live in Scotland. I haven't lived in Scotland for years. It's something that it's been completely lost. I don't know. I don't really know how Scottish people talk anymore. I don't even know how I used to speak anymore. I wonder if maybe it comes out when he's talking with like family and friends that have lived in Scotland their whole life. Maybe that's where it comes. Leave me there for like a few days, and then the accent like comes out. Or sometimes even in just one conversation, because sometimes that also happens. And just like when you're, depending on who you're speaking with, your accent's going to change. That also, like, it's a thing. But yeah, this was very, very interesting. But that was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye!